Hey, checking in with Chapter 2 of the City We Became, Showdown in the Last Forest? Last Forest? Lost Forest, one of the two. This is where Manny, Manhattan, what does he do? He meets his roommate. He apparently was, he somehow got dropped at the apartment that his past self, the one that has been wiped from his head as he arrived in New York and became Manhattan, the avatar of the borough of Manhattan. He's ended up at his the place, and it turns out it is with a trans man. And Bell, and they sort of have a little bit of an awkward thing at the beginning because he can't remember his name. He can't remember, he can't remember Bell's name. He can't remember his own name. Is actually a human being, not an avatar. And they end up going for a walk. And they go to a local park, where a woman suddenly comes at them, and a white woman comes at them, and she's filming them, and she's saying that they're sexual deviants, they're having sex in the park, and that they're junkies and all this stuff, and she calls the cops on them. And it's around here where Manny realizes, oh, she has the same white tentacles that he came upon in a much larger form on FDR. The woman who he was with there dropped him off, flirted with him, and said like, oh well, if you need anything, give me a call at we do a wedding service with these old cabs. So back to the park, and this woman who's filming them, very much a strong echo of the woman who was calling the cops on a black man who was a birder, and asking that she put his dog back on the leash, and she called the cops on him, threatening basically death by cop against him because she dared to talk to her. So I was like, I bet this was written before that, so it really echoes that of a racist woman who's like, oh, they're black, and you should come and get them, basically. But it is Manny realizes, oh, you have a tentacle, and gets the creature to actually show itself, and it's indeed this tentacle creature, which says, yes, you got me on FDR, but that was just like a little toe, and I've spread all over the place. Everything I touch is infected and spread, and indeed it has everywhere. And he's trying to get him there, and he uses money to actually try and buy the ground around to be able to buy a thing. But unfortunately, Manhattan property value is so expensive that there's no way. It's be like $1,000 a square foot, or maybe $2,000 a square foot. So can't, and it's looking bad. But a woman comes up to them, a middle-aged black woman comes up to them, playing music, and this drives the creature off. And it turns out this is Brooklyn, the avatar for Brooklyn, and at first mistakes Bell as the creature mistook Bell as Paulo, San Paulo, but no, actually you're human. And so ignores him. But Brooklyn comes up, and basically rescues them, drives the thing away. But it turns out it's going off after, because there's there's 5 of them. There's all the 5 boroughs of New York, and he thinks that some of the other ones are probably in trouble, and indeed it's Queens that thinks is the big one that might be in trouble right now. So they're rushing off. They feel an urgency that they need to get to it, because they basically operate on kind of feelings, drives, and stuff like that. And So they're going to go off and try and save that. Belle decides, maybe it'd be best. Manny says, like, maybe it'd be best if you kind of headed back to the apartment. Things are going to get really weird. It's like, oh, I thought things were already weird enough, but actually, you're still not the worst roommate I've ever had. So good luck. And he goes off, and they go off to search to go to Queens to try and help their avatar there, even though they think, oh, dun dun dun, they might already be too late. So yeah, that's that. It's probably, what is it? It's track two, 2, 3, and 3. It's all of chapter 2, and then we'll head into chapter 3, which I think is the Queen of Staten Island or something like that. Is the next chapter. I think I'll try and gulp down a lot more tomorrow just to try and get it going, because it feels very okay. Not much has happened. Okay, not much has happened. It's kind of a cool world. I actually do like that kind of very strong thing of like, oh, racist woman filming a couple of people of color and threatening them with the cops, and maybe even not even really, there's a point in the story where it's just like, oh, Martha, which is the name of the woman. It's like, you actually don't even think we are drug dealers, do you? Because you wouldn't actually film people that you thought were actually dangerous. You've decided to film us and threaten us because you precisely know that we're not drug dealers and we're not, thing. But actually, I am violent. I have killed people, which it's like he hasn't. But as Manhattan, he is a super ruthless motherfucker. And Belle even mentions like, oh, that's that edge that he actually kind of noticed when they had a chat over, I think it's Zoom or something like that. It's like, you kind of had this edge to you, but I was desperate for a roommate. You actually seem a lot more mellow now, he mentions at first, but then that edge seems to come back in that talk. So I did like that part, that little part there, that like, oh, I can feel the grounding there, and that might be just because of my own limited knowledge that was the one point where I went, oh, I recognize that echoes for me. Whereas maybe there's other stuff in the story that doesn't echo for me because I'm an ignorant white Canadian dude in Victoria who has no clue about the Black experience. But yeah, so that's where I am so far. I'm going to try and kind of pump ahead here, get a good couple of chapters in tomorrow so I can come back and report again. All right, more videos later.